Alright, we all expected it to be a crazy press conference, but here it was. That was one of the craziest UFC press conferences of the year. With Colby Covington in the main event, we knew that this press conference was going to be a constant back and forth. But not many people expected Colby to quote-unquote cross the line. A lot of people were saying Colby Covington might have took it too far in the press conference. I want to talk about that especially later on, and I'm going to break down the whole press conference to you right now. And in this video, I'm going to go over some of my favorite moments, show them for you guys if you guys missed it. And before we get into it, don't remind you guys to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying at 20K by the end of the year. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, so I know you guys are going to help me with that goal. And I know a lot of you guys say, Jack, it is almost the end of the year. Why do you keep saying 20K? Well, guys, you know, I ain't giving up hope. If I'm not going to believe that we can get 20K, I know you guys aren't. But Colby Covington and Leon Edwards is taking place this weekend, and we did a lot of videos. I made a video predicting all of the fights. Make sure to check it out at the end of the video. I'm going to put them all on the screen at the end. But I was really excited for this press conference. Obviously, Ian Gary not being there was a massive disappointment. We were all excited to see Colby Covington and Ian Gary going back at each other. Also, Leon Edwards and Ian Gary. But Ian, obviously, if you guys missed it, pulled out. I made a video yesterday talking about it. But let's get into the press conference. Obviously, I think the number one thing that jumped out at all of us is what the hell is Colby wearing? Obviously, playing up the whole England versus United States thing. And Colby opens up the press conference with this joke.
For all the people out there, how many of you guys have fucked Ian Gary's wife? Oh, man.
Right off the bat, he's talking about Ian Gary, man. Imagine if Ian Gary was here. I know Ian Gary's at home right now, just salty as hell that he missed this thing. But then Colby and Leon go at each other, and Colby makes a comment basically saying how Leon pulled out of the Tyron Woodley fight, and how Colby Covington had to fill in for him.
You know why I beat Woodley? Because you pulled out because you had the sniffles. You had the sniffles.
Basically, Colby Covington is trying to say that Leon Edwards pulled out of the Tyron Woodley fight, and Colby Covington had to fight Tyron Woodley instead. Now, obviously, that's not exactly what happened. If you guys recall, the fight was scheduled for around March or April of 2020. Obviously, COVID happened. COVID canceled the fight. I don't think Leon could have came in the country or something like that. It wasn't necessarily one of those things where, like, literally he pulled out and Colby took the fight on short notice. So it's just a little bit of trying to play with the narrative and put it in Colby's favor. But it only got crazier because Colby starts going at the nicest guy in MMA, Stephen Thompson. Like, what did he do to you? All the guy does is teach kids karate, and Colby makes some, let's just say, some serious insinuations about Stephen Thompson.
Him and his dad drive around in a van with no windows, and they lure kids into the bus with candy and karate, and they tell them, let's go back to the dojo. Listen,
Colby, don't
listen,
be
that's
mad
strange. That's strange.
You haven't got a ride in the karate bus, all right? I got you.
Now, I think Thompson handled it really well. Honestly, Thompson usually handles trash talk pretty well. Like, even against Woodley, he did.
The best, and Tyron's the champion, like I said, for a reason, man. So
I'm the best.
Yeah, but I'm going out there to prove that.
You going out there to prove I'm the best?
That I'm the best.
You going out there to fool yourself?
It's all right, man. I don't know why you gotta be so mean, man. This guy's so mean.
But then we get to the people's main event, right? Tony Ferguson and Paddy Pimblett, right? Now, Tony Ferguson absolutely took over this press conference, and I gotta say, I think there's been a serious mental change about Tony Ferguson. I'm gonna reveal why at the end of the video, why it's confirmed basically that there is, and why I think this change alone could potentially help him win this fight. But yeah, we saw Paddy get booed. I was wondering all week, what was the reception of Paddy going to be? Usually he does get a lot of cheers, but over the past year that he's had, and plus he's fighting a fan favorite in Tony Ferguson. And yeah, and Tony says that he's basically going to make his face look like a ketchup sandwich.
He's going to have the real fucking shit on Saturday. Make his face a ketchup sandwich, motherfucker. Better quit smiling, bitch.
And Tony wasn't done, man. He was beefing with Colby, and then all of a sudden they became friends. Like, one moment they're beefing back and forth.
And lose 7 fights in a row, bro.
Oh, homie, you know what?
Fucking
you're in
bum.
my weight class.
Fucking
forget,
bum.
brother. You're in my weight class, kid.
And then the next moment, this happened.
Wins and I win, we're going to keep that fucking shit here.
Yeah, we'll see.
That was a compliment, bitch.
Yeah, I'm complimenting you too. I'm rooting for you on Saturday night.
All right, Colby, let's fucking do this shit.
Let's go, Team America.
Fuck yeah, America, motherfuckers.
Fuck yeah, God bless.
Like, I was literally laughing at this because it was just at one moment they're arguing with each other, and then it's like at one moment I honestly think Colby felt bad. I think Colby didn't really want to go after Tony. Like, Colby started mentioning stuff about Tony Ferguson, about the incident with his kids and his wife and things like that. Like, I actually thought that was too far than the other comment that we're about to talk about that Colby made. I thought that that was more what's too far, but I think it got kind of swept under the rug. I'm not even sure if Tony heard it. But for those of you guys that don't know, Tony has suffered with different, mental illnesses in the past, but there were different reports of, his wife calling the police, and this was a clear reference to that. But then we get to probably the biggest highlight of the press conference, where Colby Covington and Leon Edwards have a massive altercation because Colby says this.
No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer. Hell, we'll say what's up to your dad while we're there. Oh!
Now, first of all, was the comment too far? I want to talk about that first. Guys, I always say, look, fight promotion is fight promotion. I defended Dylan Dennis through the whole, like, Logan Paul thing. I said, look, it's fight promotion. You might not like it, and I don't think this necessarily makes Colby a terrible person. Do I agree with it? Would I have said that? Absolutely not. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't have said the stuff that Dylan Dennis said. In my personal beliefs, I believe that's too far, but you have to ask yourself, do you cross those lines? Like for example, right, we look at some billionaires, right? A lot of them are greedy. A lot of them have done fucked up shit to get to where they are, and it's fucked up, but you get the motive, right? And Colby Covington is the same way, right? He's obviously not saying this to Leon Edwards to be like, fuck Leon, I hate him. It's for two reasons, right? Number one is to sell a fight, right? Because Colby Covington, right, we're talking about this. All of Twitter's talking about this. Everyone's saying, oh, is this too far? The clip of them with that altercation is going to go viral. And the second reason is a bigger reason because it is the mental mind games of Colby Covington. Colby tries to wind up his opponent, so much so that Jorge Masvidal tracked down Colby and assaulted him weeks after they fought because the mind games of Colby are a lot. And that's what we saw here. So look, in my opinion, was it too far? Yes, I thought it was too far. I see people criticizing and saying, hey, it's not a persona, it's actually just Colby. I don't think that's who Colby is. Colby does seem like a nice guy when you see him outside of the whole fighting thing. Two things could be true at once, and one would say, hey, if somebody is willing to sell out like that for fight promotion, for money, they are a terrible person. And if you want to say that, then fine, that's fair enough, and I can see that argument totally. And I actually think it was a mistake from Colby because people were actually starting to like Colby, but making a comment like that is just not cool. However, I'm definitely not offended by it. I think a lot of people are super too offended by it. I think I'm lying somewhere in the middle where, yeah, it's too far, but at the same time, I'm not going to get too offended by it. But back to the mental games, right, of Colby, right? This is important because one of the major things I think Colby has to do is break Leon's confidence. Leon has a ton of confidence, beating Kamaru twice, being the world champ. And we've seen when Leon has that bit of doubt, sometimes he tends to accept what's going on. We saw that in the Kamaru Usman 2 fight. And if Colby can get him into a place that's unfamiliar to him and get him really grinding, we have to see, can Leon Edwards come back from that? In the third one, as close as it was, there was never a position where Leon was really in a bad spot. Colby has to put him in that spot. Colby has to remind him and say, hey, I'm better than you. If Colby is actually better, of course. And doing stuff like this where even afterwards he's saying that, you know, Leon's emotional and this and that. Like, in my opinion, Leon made a huge mistake at reacting like that. That is just telling Colby, oh, I've had success, giving Colby confidence. So in my opinion, I think Leon probably should have stayed cool, calm, and collective, but I get it. It's probably a sensitive topic. For those of you guys that don't know, maybe I should explain, but Leon Edwards' dad was murdered in a nightclub when Leon was 14 years old. So this is another thing where it wasn't even like his dad has been dead since before birth. Like, his dad died not even 15 years ago. Then Paddy and Tony went back at each other, talking back and forth.
You care about me blocking you on Instagram. That's what you care about. You care about the most stupidest shit.
No, I
don't. I'm worried about everybody else.
You must care because you blocked me. I'm not that much of a little pussy to block someone on Instagram.
You know what? I'm not that sensitive, bitch. I didn't even have to fucking look at you.
Little sensitive boy.
And Tony really hitting home to Paddy that, hey, his country might have turned on him. And I think that might hit home for Paddy.
Your own country doesn't even like you, dude.
Paddy this week has seemed a lot more quiet, a lot more humbler. And I think that is because of the hate that he's been getting. And I talked about this last year. I talked about it when I made the original Paddy video when Paddy lost. I said to you guys, we have to pay attention because Paddy's going from being loved by everybody to now being hated. How well is he going to take that? Well, it seems like that he does have a little bit of a changed demeanor because I think when you look at Tony Ferguson and Paddy Pimblett, the body language, it's just off. Like, it looks like Tony is the one that should be the favorite and Paddy should be the underdog. Like, Paddy has talked about this being a lose-lose constantly. Like, I wonder, is there doubt going into Paddy's head? Which would be interesting carrying into the fight, and I think that Tony Ferguson is in a lot better place. But I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the video, but that was the press conference. Honestly, it was one of the best press conferences of the year. And thanks to Colby Covington. Say what you will about him, he makes things interesting. Like him or not, he's always gonna add spice to fight cards. And for Leon, right, post-press conference, he obviously lost his press conference. Colby got into his head, he made him have a big reaction like that. Leon's even threatening to fight him backstage. This could either do one or two things. Either one, Leon is going to be completely mentally destroyed by this, get in there, be frustrated, not act himself, or B, this will give him a ton of motivation to fight Colby, to beat him and knock him out. We're gonna have to find that out on Saturday night. And for Tony, I think a massive change that he has made and something that he was talking about this week was the fact that he's gotten a sports psychologist. Now, a sports psychologist is just somebody that obviously handles athletes exclusively and understands how losses can affect people, and Tony's just had a really good demeanor this week. Like, the past few fight weeks, the guy has looked pretty sad. And I'm not talking about, oh, he's looking sad like he's just crying or something like that. I'm talking about, like, the dude just looks sad. Like, he looks like a pathetic old man. Like, he's just walking around complaining about everything, making comments, and just acting like a grouch. This week, it does seem like he's enjoying this a lot more, and he said that. He said, look, his wife told him something like, hey, you're not enjoying this anymore, and all of a sudden he realized, hey, I'm not. I gotta make some changes. So I think we're we're seeing Tony in a way better place, and honestly, even if he loses the fight, he might handle it a lot better than he did the other losses. And I think he has a great mindset going into this fight, and seems like he truly wants to win it. I know he says it every time, and I never believe him every time. This is the only time where I actually do believe, just based on his body language, based on what he's saying, based on the fact that he hasn't really complained about much this week. He just seems to be making more jokes and stuff like that, and really embracing himself. But UFC 296 is this Saturday. If you guys want to go make your bets and know what's up, go click my videos where I predict the fights. I predicted every single fight on the card except for the prelims, so tune into the video. If you guys need some help, my suggestions are right there. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.